Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you are listening, folks. Thank you very, very much for listening. Today is the 19th of July, year of our Lord 2024. Welcome to yet another edition of the Coping Hour, hosted by Nicholas Inkle, a.k.a. Moton Noah. Got a big, huge, important show for you guys today. You've seen the title. Use the timestamps to your advantage if you need to, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about at the top of this one. A lot of housekeeping, if you will. Housekeeping notes for the Coping Hour. I'm feeling a little bit combative today, so we'll see. I got a super stressful week. I'm recording this super late at night. I'm going to be up until like 1 working on this. And then I have to be up super early in the morning whenever our son wakes up at like 5, inexplicably. And then sometimes he doesn't go back to sleep until like 8:30. Sometimes he goes right back to sleep at like 6. It's like, hey, you just never know, right? Such is life. But I'm alone with him all day because Maddie's back to work at this point. So that's like a whole nother wrinkle in my life, right? It's just not having the ability to just walk away from a crying baby if you need to. Give me like 15 minutes, just let me just chill, decompress for a minute. Can't do that all day, right? And that is starting to, okay, wow. So that is a new thing that I have to adjust to. All right, okay, so that's in the mix. But then as soon as she gets off of work tomorrow, her mom, brother, and his wife are all coming to stay with us this weekend, which is not a problem in and of itself. That's fine. I love them, and it's going to be a fun weekend. But it is still having people over. It's a whole thing, and still comes with its own stress and its own anxiety, and namely like the amount of cleaning that we've been doing, right? So, I'm almost feeling just like I'm just very frustrated right now. So if that comes through during this show, hold me accountable. Turn the show off. If at some point it feels like I'm not, how do I want to phrase this so that you can properly hold me accountable? If at any point during today's episode you can tell that I'm only doing it to get the full hour out of it, turn the show off. You do need to tell me when you turned it off, by the way. You will have to, if you really want to hold me accountable, you have to leave a timestamp and say, this is when this stuff is important because you've seen the title again by now. So the gimmick is spoiled. So anyways, Nick, all right, let's keep this thing moving. A good piece of information that I could give you guys is a couple episodes ago, I mentioned in passing something about Coping Hour merch potentially being a thing one day. It's just a matter of me actually executing it. Well, I guess that's the thing. We're starting to get the ball rolling on that. I got a few items so far, and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit in a way that some of you are gonna be like, you don't need to explain this, but I feel like I do a little bit. So the reason that I finally started to do merch, I in the past have always had a very weird relationship with like the transactional nature of a viewer versus a viewer and a creator, like that relationship, and like it's I think the first experience I had was I had maybe like 10,000 followers on Twitter, so like it wasn't that big of a deal, it's like 2018 maybe, and we were having like car problems or something, and people just like sent me a bunch of money. I didn't ask, like people just sent me a bunch of money, and so but people were just like, you're just like good at what you do, and we just want to help you out. And I was like, oh, I don't actually like how that feels at all. Please don't fucking do that. And then whether it's like shit like that or like Patreon or anything, is just Patreon, by the way, is what killed the Bunny Cardigan show. And so so it's all of it. I just always feel some type of way about it when I'm asking you to give me money for anything. So when it came to doing merch, I was like, okay, so it actually needs to be like cool, and it needs to be. So I'm really trying. I'm really trying to make it worth your guys' money while also making it like reasonably priced. I will show a quick little example for those of you actually watching the show today. On the screen right now, I'll show you a little sneak preview. It's just a mug. It's just a coffee mug, but the only reason I did the mug is because this design ended up being so fucking cool. So you guys don't even probably, I don't think people who listen to the Coping Hour really drink coffee. You guys really, more than anything, strike me as the type to, I don't know, like drink a bowl of resin. There you go. Pour your resin into the Coping Hour coffee mug. Release date TBD, and then get back to me on it. But I thought it was so cool that I was like, this, all right, if you guys want a mug, you guys can have one. But one thing I wanted to mention about this, though, is this is also kind of your time to shine. If there's anything, like if there are any isms about the show that you that you think would make like a funny T-shirt or something, and maybe I just haven't thought of it, please let me know. Because if at the end of the day, I don't know all of the stuff that you guys find funny. I have tackled a few isms. You guys have mentioned in the past that primary control merch would be cool, so we got a few ideas in there. There are a few little fun ideas in there. And then another big thing for me on this was I only put it on a shirt or a hat or whatever it is, a crew neck, long sleeve tee, if I would also wear it like every single day. And I'm obviously making all of it, and I suck at graphic design. But not to sound like I'm doing like to make myself feel better about it, but like I think that's also kind of part of the charm of the shirts. You know what I mean? Because this show mechanically is very all over the place. It's not refined by any means. It is not dressed up. It's just kind of bare bones, and it just kind of is what it is. Like some days it's like, wow, like he really had his fastball. And some days you're like, man, like the wheels really came off. And so I think if the merch reflects that in some way, right, while also being made exclusively by me, I think is cool. So we'll see. We'll see. Some of it I'm desperate to get just for myself. I don't care if anybody buys it. I'm basically, maybe that was a better way to phrase it. I'm only going to make merch that I'm only making it so that I can buy it. Like I'm just putting shit on clothes that I want. So, okay, I think that's it. I think that's good on the merch. So put a pin in that. If you have any ideas for anything that you want to see on a shirt or hat, anything like that, just let me know. copinghoursubs@gmail.com is the email to the show. Email available in the description wherever you listen to the show. Okay, I think that's it for sort of the technical stuff. And then one final housekeeping note on the previous 2 episodes in the going over all of the active Hall of Famers in the NBA, first the Eastern Conference, then the Western Conference. When we did the Eastern Conference, the player that we just inexplicably forgot about was Kyle Lowry. We covered our tracks, and he was, in fact, a Hall of Famer. Turns out the Western Conference also had a Kyle Lowry adjacent player where I didn't mean to forget them, but I did forget them. That was Mike Conley. So let me do a very quick thing. Okay, Mike Conley. You guys were upset that I forgot about Mike Conley. Again, very fair that you're upset. I did just completely space that. So I'm going to give you guys a chance here. Mike Conley in the NBA Hall of Fame, Basketball Hall of Fame, I should say. How does that feel? Yeah, that's second team all defense from like 13 years ago. That's going to look really cool in there. That all-star appearance, Nick, to be fair, all-star appearance. That all-star reserve injury replacement. Yeah, that it took him like 15 years to get it, but he did finally get it. Hell yeah. He was for a short time also the highest paid player in the history of the NBA. Not too many players in the grand scheme of things are able to say that. So sure, Mike Conley can go in the Hall of guys? What? Mike Conley is a Hall of Fame dude, like a Hall of Fame person. Hall of Fame, like, I think the power friendship shit is not, I don't find that shit funny, but that's what he would be, right? Is like the Hall of Fame, like, friendship dude. That's Mike Conley. Not a Hall of Fame, like, NBA basketball player, though. That's nuts. So today's segment, what are we doing today? Well, to go with what I was saying at the beginning, I also forgot that I had to record the fucking show today. And so on a whim, I said to my girlfriend, I'm like, sweet, I was like, fuck, dude, I forgot I have to record a show in like 6 hours. I was like, I have literally no idea what I'm going to do. And I was like, I think I just need to do something like mindless. And I was like kind of giving some examples. And she was like, NBA players that you'd blow up your franchise for. I dusted my hands. That's the show. That's the show. And since then, I have not really thought about it or looked into anything about it at all. So this is where you're going to need to hold me accountable. Is I don't technically know where I'm going to go with this. I don't technically know. But to be fair, let me actually try to like lay some ground rules. NBA players that I would blow my franchise up for. There are kind of levels to that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, are you blowing them up because you want to start from scratch? Or are you blowing them up? There's like the Mikal Bridges tier with what the Knicks just did, where you didn't blow up your team like on the court, like your core. You didn't do that. But you almost mortgaged your future in a way with how many draft picks ended up getting sent out. But the reason that the Knicks did that was because Mikal Bridges they believe that he's the final piece to get them over the hump, to be able to beat the Celtics because, Nick, but they got to beat the Pacers if they're going to beat the Celtics. Yes, haha. Sure. They got Mikal Bridges so that they can first beat the Pacers and then so that they can go beat the Celtics. And if that's for a bunch of draft picks that like, okay, well, we're the Knicks and we're going to be really good for a while. So like these draft picks, like it is what it is. Oh, but and that's the thing about there's another piece to this too. It's like, if you're the Knicks in that situation, like you'll give up all that shit for like a Mikal Bridges because the risk factor ends up being so low in the grand scheme of things. When you have so many guys on your team and all you did was just go get the missing piece because you're all, 7 of your 1 through 8 guys were already like B tier NBA players, and all you did was just went and added another one who was like an A tier Iron Man. The risk factor goes down because even if you end up stinking for whatever reason, you have so much stuff that you can go and shell off to either retool on the fly or just really like sit tight and assess on it. So if you're the Knicks and things plummet, we're already kind of forgetting that Julius Randle's on the team. Maybe it's just me and I'm just projecting, but I just am like, okay, so when's that going to happen? When's he going to go somewhere else? Okay, so the Knicks want to start the season with Julius Randle. What if you were like, if shit's really bad for whatever reason, Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle, like, what does that get you? Miles McBride and like, there's so much that you can do here. There's so much flexibility. But then the flip side to a team like that is when you're like Phoenix and you really roll the dice and you mortgage your future for a guy like Bradley Beal and for a guy like Kevin Durant. You already had Devin Booker, to be fair, right? But for the former two, okay, but the risk factor is like way higher. It's like way higher. Because if you stink, and by all accounts, the Suns stink. Don't get it twisted. The Suns are bad. Okay, so what then? Like, yeah, you'll always, until he retires, you will always be able to get something for Kevin Durant. Like, something. But eventually it's going to be like, okay, like, I guess it's something, right? And then, so he'll always be a positive asset. It's just like an age thing. It's just his value does diminish, but he is still Kevin Durant at the end of the day. So, okay, it's a wash in some sense. But Bradley Beal, it's like, no, but that could turn into like a negative asset immediately. Like, he's not going to be a Zach LaVine level of negative asset, but it's in the same stratosphere, in the same paradigm. No. And then what else is, like, what is it? Bol and Yusuf Nurkic. And yep, and that's it. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know if that it does explain how I'm gonna do this. But I guess there's really only one way to find out. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's start things off with the Houston Rockets. Is there anybody on the Houston Rockets that I would blow up my franchise for? Amen Thompson is the first one that jumps out that I would not consider, but you just kind of like, well, he's young and like, but then you're like, no, because him or his brother, not to spoil the Pistons, so no, you go down the list. This one's actually probably going to be pretty quick. The one that I would entertain would be actually Şengün, and maybe this is interesting to start things off, is does Şengün one day evolve into the, not saying this is like actually going to happen, but I would do the mortgage my future blow up my franchise for Alperen Şengün if I believed that my team was like a mobile big man away, like a passing big man away. You know what I mean? What is he shooting from 3 in his career? Yeah, he doesn't even shoot that. I mean, he shot less than 2 last year. That's not his deal. No, that's right. I'm sorry. No, Şengün isn't 3. He does those weird like fadeaways, right? Like they're like one-legged, but like not like the Dirk ones. He does something weird with those. I think is what I'm is what it is. So okay, most improved finished the 3rd this year. Yeah, I like that one. For Alperen Şengün, I would do what the Knicks just did for Mikal Bridges. So if that counts as blowing up my franchise, then okay, so we got the first one on the board. And I apologize, I'm going to have to stall here for a second. Şengün. I wrote Dengun, but I'll know what I mean later. Okay, so the Houston Rockets actually had one. So there you go. Let's move on to the Utah Jazz. And now the irony here is that it sounds like there are a few franchises that might be blowing up and or mortgaging their futures for Lauri Markkanen. So then the question is just, would I do the same? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Someone's lying. I think it's the Jazz. I think they're out of their minds. Why is he? I don't. Well, they're not. Maybe they're not lying, Nick. Maybe you just don't know how to quantify value anymore. Maybe that's what it is. What does 6 first-round picks, protected, otherwise, whatever, 6 first-round picks, what does that net you these days? 23 points a game. That gets you 23 and 8 on 48 and 40 and 90. So 50, 40, 90. Okay. 23 and 8 on 50, 40, 90 for 7 first-round picks. Fuck. Okay. Well, okay. I presented that as if it was like, really? Who's really the asshole here? And then I was wrong. Okay, so we'll put Lauri Markkanen on here. We'll put Lauri on there. And then do I want to do like John Collins? Can I talk myself into that? If it was 3 years ago, would you have done it? Be honest with yourself. If it was 3 years ago, would you have talked yourself into mortgaging your future for John Collins? A lot of you out there might have. I also would have been one of them. Walker Kessler, as a matter of fact, hold on. The other day I asked you guys a question. I said, you're an NBA general manager, and you can either have Joel Embiid or you can have Alperen Şengün and Walker Kessler. Which one are you taking? And I, at the end of it, was kind of like, why wouldn't I just take 2 dudes who do this? Why wouldn't I just take the 2 guys? Why wouldn't I just take both of them? Is that kind of the same thing here? Where, well, I'm already mortgaging my future for Alperen Şengün. We said we were going to do the Mikal Bridges thing for him. So can I also, as the GM, blow up my franchise too to pair Lauri Markkanen and Alperen Şengün? So then, I'm sorry, did I say Lauri Markkanen? I meant Walker Kessler, just to go with the mental exercise of the Joel Embiid thing. No, I kind of talked myself out of it. So we're not going to put Walker Kessler on the list of guys that I would blow up my franchise for. We're going to move on to the San Antonio Spurs. Yes, so let's just write down the Wembanyama thing. Wembanyama. That's not 7 first-round picks, right? I don't think you can trade 10, but if you could trade 10, are you taking it? 10 first-round picks? Sohan, Keldon, Harrison Barnes. No, but Harrison Barnes may go down as one of the guys in the NBA who got away with being a black hole. People just didn't really talk about it that much. And I'm the same guy who, like, an episode or 2 ago, I was like, people always say Harrison Barnes was bad in the 2015 finals. Like, no, he wasn't. Find the new angle. Check the stats. Nerd. And then here I am, and I'm like, Harrison Barnes? Hashtag heliocentric? But he kind of was. Like, he had some Corey Maggette vibes. Harrison Barnes reminds you sometimes of like a Minnesota Timberwolves Shabazz Muhammad. You know what I mean? And I don't think he's ever gotten enough. He's like both of the Morris twins have always been bad about that. Marcus was always worse, though. So, for the Spurs, it's just going to be Victor Wembanyama. It's just going to be him. Would I blow up my franchise to trade for Greg Popovich? No. Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox. Am I blowing up my franchise for De'Aaron Fox? I don't know. With how he shot that 3-ball last year, I might. He shot like 4 more threes and then made all of them. We just talked about him the other day, so we're not going to do it again. I don't think I'm going to put him on the list, though. No, he's won games. I was going to say because he hasn't really won anything. I don't. It's a vibes thing. I don't really know how to explain this one, and I don't really want to try because it's going to be a word salad. I don't feel it, guys. It's just a vibes thing. I don't feel it with De'Aaron Fox. I love him. You guys know. If you've watched the chat, you guys know. I'm going to defend myself just a little bit. I'm sorry. I like De'Aaron Fox, but I just can't put him on this list. But I am going to put Sabonis on there. That feels... The NBA in 2024, hold on, I'm walking myself through it, is dominated by perimeter players who create. And that means that De'Aaron Fox has to be on this list and Domantas Sabonis cannot. So, okay. All right. There we go, Nick. De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is on the list. I wrote De'Aaron Gauze. Okay. DeMar DeRozan at this point in his career, a lot of gas in the tank. A lot of points left to score if you're DeMar DeRozan, but I'm not blowing up my franchise for him. Hell, the Kings they gave up a shoelace. They didn't give up dick or balls for DeMar DeRozan. So I'm not going to either. Portland, we might be able to move this one fast because this is a super cursed roster. Unless you're into Donovan Clingan, then you can maybe you'll blow up your franchise for him. People really like Duop Reith, Denny Avdia, Jeremy Grant, Matisse Thybulle, Chris Murray, Scoot Henderson, DeAndre Ayton, Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe. Like, I'd blow up my franchise for a package from Portland. How's that, Blazers fans? Can I meet you in the middle? I would, as a Pistons fan, give me Anthony Simons, Ayton, and I'll take Shaedon Sharpe. And then whatever you want. Except, well, if I'm blowing up my franchise, then that means that you can also have Cade and also Dog, by the way, if I'm asking for, did I not say Scoot? I think I said Scoot. I don't remember what the trade was. I would take a package. I would take a package from Portland. All right. So how do I write that in my notes? Package from Portland. Cool. Now we move on to the Phoenix Suns. Are you doing it for Kevin Durant? Are you still doing it? I probably am, to be honest with you. He's only 35. Only 35. Modern medicine, I bet he's got 3 or 4 more years. But again, no, I don't need to look at this through the lens of a Pistons fan because I think that's going to fuck with it a little bit. I think I just need to look at it objectively. Do I think an NBA franchise? No, and that's what I was saying at the beginning, actually. So I just have to be consistent with that because I do believe that it's true. If he does get moved again or whatever ends up happening, I don't think it's going to be that crazy. So the reason I'm going to say no to Kevin Durant is because I don't think you have to. Bradley Beal, another player, you don't have to. You could probably go get him for less than you think. Devin Booker is the one that you're going to have to pay. And guess what? I've been manifesting it for years. Matt Ishbia is Joseph Tsai 2.0, and Devin Booker is going to come home. He's going to be a Detroit Piston. Devin Booker on the list, blowing up my franchise for him. That is going to bring us to the Los Angeles Clippers. Am I doing it for Kawhi? If Team USA doesn't want Kawhi, then I damn sure don't want Kawhi, with all due respect. Josh Primo, Kevin Porter, Norm Powell. Let's just move on to the next one. This could be the Lakers. Let's move on to the next one. I don't have anything to say, guys. I have LA fans out there for either the Clippers or Lakers. What do you want? I don't know. Max Christie getting what the fuck was that contract? He played 0 minutes last year. Let's get an actual number here. No, that's not true. Hold on, that's not true. No. I'm being gaslit by Basketball Reference right now. This motherfucker was not playing 17 minutes a game. That's not true. He didn't play at all at the end of the year. Oh, that's true. No, okay. Oh, okay, I'm right. Yeah, I am right about this. So there were a few games in the tail end of the season, post All-Star break, that Max Christie did log 15 to 20 minutes. There were, some games sprinkled out, but most of these are sub 10 minutes. So I am but that's my question is, why the fuck did he get paid at all? Well, because who else were the Lakers going to pay? And they had his bird rights, so I guess it made sense. Nick, he's a Spartan dog. Why are you getting on his case? Max Christie is maybe the one Spartan dog in my life. I do not like him. I don't think he's real at all. Jared Vanderbilt, in the league? Question mark? What? What's going on with him? Does he still dunk or does he play basketball anymore? He came back last year, right? I would love to see him play. Am I blowing up my franchise for Anthony Davis, who at this point is only 30? Yes. So then you would have to. Yeah. I don't want to, though. How about that? Can I say that for Anthony Davis? I should, and someone would have to, but I don't want to. I'm going to write that down. Anthony Davis, but then parenthetically, but I don't want to. If you wanted Anthony Davis, though, you would have to go get him. For I don't know. Does he get the Gobert? Here's the thing. I could ask you guys that question, or I could try to answer it, but neither of us know. So let's move on to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's do the Shea thing. Yeah. The guy who's going to be one of the best 6.5 players for the next 8 years. I'll blow up my franchise for that guy. Also, because I'm like 4 weeks older than him, and that's funny. That's very, very funny. This is what I do, by the way. This is what I do, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And what you do is pretty cool, too. We're actually the same weight, too. What does that say? He's 6'6", so what is that? He's 7 inches taller than me? That's... Whose BMI is fucked up, then? Wait. Hold on. Does that mean that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is... I don't want him on my team if he's not eating. He's got to eat something. Come on, SGA. I'll blow up my franchise for him. Chet Holmgren, I don't want to. That's another one. I'm fucking not doing it. Yeah, you have to, but I'm not doing it. So let's do SGA and then Chet, but no. After that, I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. Lou Dort, you can go get. I didn't even need to say. Obviously, you don't need to blow up your team for Lou Dort. Are we still blowing up the team for Steph? Are we still doing it? Because if I wouldn't do it for LeBron, which I wouldn't, because I don't know. There's another one that I don't think people know. I don't think anybody knows how to quantify that one. Steph at 35. If I didn't, so I have to be. KD was 35. I said it's the same thing. But with Steph, doesn't it feel different? With KD, the value goes down, but it doesn't it also kind of feel like some of it is just because he's been like in the wash so much. You know what I mean? We've watched him do so many dryer cycles in like the trade market. We've seen this movie before. We've seen Kevin Durant get traded. But like Steph getting traded from Golden State in like a expiring year of a contract. He like does the Charlotte Hornets thing and goes home, quote unquote. Well, not quote unquote. He goes home, right? How crazy would that be? You're prying him from the Golden State Warriors. That there's no precedent for that. So I wonder. Again, I wouldn't as for the Pistons. What the fuck does it? Again, I'm not supposed to look at it through the lens of the Pistons. Like what? Or just any team. Any team. If you're Charlotte, it makes sense. Do the hometown thing. Make your money. Do your thing. Like do a farewell tour. It'll be fun. Like people will show up to the game. It'll be awesome. It'll be cool. But if you're any other team and you're not good, like if you're not good and you're like blowing up my team and starting from scratch, we're not doing it with Steph anymore. We're just not doing it with him anymore. The Draymond thing, okay, let's move on to let's move on to the next one. Pajemski sounds like he's about to be a Jazz. And that's about it. Yeah, that's it for the Golden State Warriors. So no one. The New Orleans Pelicans. I'm still doing it for Zion. Still doing it. Mainly, he was awesome this year. I don't think it's that crazy of a take. Ingram, it's not a blow up, especially with whatever the hell's going on right now. It's not a blow up. You don't have to do that. Do I want to dance with fire? Do I want to run into this burning home? There might be a take in there. I just don't know if I want to get it, because if I get it and then read it and you guys don't like it, I'm going to be mad that I ran into the burning house to get it. Does Trey Murphy get you more in a trade than Brandon Ingram? I just pulled a pin on a grenade and I threw it in and I closed the door and I plugged my fucking ears. I'm just asking the questions. Just asking. Think about it. What's there to think about? Nah, it's the middle of the offseason and you're just saying bullshit. Nah, I thought about it a little bit. I used that dead air to think about it a little bit more critically, and I think I'm on to something, but it's not true at all. Zion is going to be the only one on this list that you're going to have to blow up your team for. And we are, because it's Zion Williamson. And he had a really good season. And that play-in game against the Lakers really bummed me out. Just when he got hurt. Minnesota. Do you got to do it again for Gobert? Yeah, because he's good now. And people like him. And I think just through virtue of him being I don't know how to articulate this point, but yeah, I'm doing it for Rudy Gobert for sure. And then the Karl Anthony Towns thing, no, but I'm 1 year away from getting back onto it. And if he's like committed to reinventing himself, even though I've always been a support, but like if he's really going to do, all right. Does he do the defense thing? Can Karl Anthony Towns score 60 and play defense? Can that happen? We'll have to see. Maybe if Steph goes to the Hornets. Nah, I fucked this up. There's no joke in there. Anthony Edwards. Yeah, that's another one. That's another guy who's top, 6.5 for the next 8 years. One of the potential faces of the league. Potential faces of Team USA, like American Hoops. So, yeah, Anthony Edwards is going to be on this. So, we're going to go Gobert. And we're going to go Ant-Man. Western Conference coming to a close. There was nobody else on there I needed. Luka Garza was on there. Google Luka Garza's dad. Google Frank Garza embezzlement. Google Frank Garza embezzlement and then tweet it. And then just tweet those words and see what happens. Just see what happens. Is that harassment? So that guy's weird, basically, is what I'm saying. That guy's wild. Like, he just, like, keyword searches and shit, and he gets really mad if you bring up his embezzlement. And he definitely seems like the type of dude to sue for, like, defamation. So don't go do all that shit. But do look up Frank Garza embezzlement. I believe is what his white collar crime was. So let's move on to for no reason other than just because he's kind of an asshole. So let's move on to the Dallas Mavericks. Well, Luka, and then Kyrie. I would give up. Kyrie is a missing piece player. We haven't done one of those in a while. I would soft launch the end of my franchise in order to have Kyrie Irving under contract for 2 seasons. How does that one sound? Let's chew on that one. Luka Doncic. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving soft launch, parenthetically. And then maybe... Well, you're not doing it for Clay anymore because they didn't even have to... What did they actually give up in the sign-and trade for him? A bag of basketballs? I know that wasn't really the point of it. Denver, you're doing it with Jokic. I'm not doing it with Murray. I'm not doing it with Murray because he doesn't have a sidekick. I don't want Murray as my number one guy. If I, okay, so Nick, there you go. Yeah, so Jamal Murray is another missing piece guy. Okay, all right, yeah. So that's Nikola Jokic. And that's James Murray. No, that would have been... I'm going to bleep that out. I don't know why I said that. That's it. Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, Michael Porter Jr. Is Michael Porter Jr., do I want to entertain him as like a what if he is? I mean, because he's very literally just, it's the same shit as like Mikal Bridges. Certainly not in terms of how many games they play, but just I don't know, in spirit of kind of what they do. And no, because his family is stupid as hell. Michael Porter Jr. has a stupid family. So I don't want him on my team. Memphis Grizzlies. We're doing it for Ja. Jaren Jackson, a defensive player of the year, guy giving you 22 and 5. Would love to get those rebounds up. How is he only averaging 5 rebounds? Oh, okay. Well, he's averaging 70. Okay. All right, Jaren Jackson Jr. You're off the hook. That's okay. Jaren Jackson Jr. Sneaky doesn't play that many games. Averaging 44 and 32 splits. Spartan dog. No, fuck, dude. I keep forgetting. It's like an ace in my sleeve. It's like an Uno reverse to my own brain. I forgot. I can say that I would mortgage my future and not blow up the franchise. So John Morant, normal. Jaren Jackson Jr., soft launch, end of franchise. Perfect. Luke Kennard, I wish. Zach Edey, no, but some people for sure. For sure. Derrick Rose, a lot of you guys were mad that I didn't put him in the Hall of Fame. Oh, if he's an MVP, he automatically gets to the Hall of Fame. Is that true? If it's true, then put him in the Hall of Fame. If it's not true, then he's not going to get in the Hall of Fame. The Detroit Pistons, we don't have anybody. That's my take. That's my take, and I'm sticking to it. I don't think we got anyone on here. I think Cade might be a missing piece guy, and I think he could be a guy that you blow up your franchise for. I don't know, because I haven't seen him play in any games that fucking matter. I haven't seen him play meaningful games in the month of April, hardly in the month of March. Has he played in the month of March in his career yet? I don't know, honestly. It wouldn't surprise me if he hasn't. So I think so. I think so. He's my favorite player, but I don't know. We'll see this year, man. I want to believe, but right now, Charlotte, sure, someone would do it for LaMelo. Someone would do it for him, and then if he didn't if we want to be adults here, if he didn't have all of the baggage of beating his girlfriend, Miles Bridges might be a missing piece guy. He might. In a couple of years, we'll see how they remember that, because people didn't seem to care about it I don't need to really pick and choose here, because if I say it as if they were caring about it with Miles Bridges. The guy just signed a fucking $80 million contract. It's not like people exactly are caring. It's not really weighing on Miles Bridges that much. What was the one he lost out on like $20 million, maybe $40 million. I guess sure, in the grand scheme of things, that's a lot, but he still got paid in the end. It just took like 2 extra years. So, okay, I was going to say, like, in the end, people, like, just completely forgot about Kendrick Nunn, like, pouring a boiling hot pot of, that's an awfully hot coffee pot. Jesus, dude. Just move on to the next team. Don't even write anybody from the Hornets. From the Bulls, is there anybody? Modest Buzelis, great kid, funny guy. Ayodosumu, love him. Ayodosumu might be a missing piece guy in 2 years. Let's put a pin in that one. Lonzo Ball, I can't get up the stairs. Zach LaVine, most negative asset of the year. Boom, roasted. Kobe White, another one that, when the hell did they get Torrey Craig? When did they get Chris Duarte? I don't know the last time that I looked at the Bulls roster. I mean, I guess it would have been the other day when we did the Hall of Fame stuff, so I guess it would have been. I'm sorry, Bulls fans. I got no idea what's going on over there. Brooklyn, speaking of black holes, Cam Thomas is pretty fun to watch, but Jesus, man. Claxton has shown me his true self. I thought he was ready to dance, honestly. I thought he was ready for the big leagues. I have been on my hands and knees begging for, like, the world to know Claxton's name since 2018. I don't know. A few years ago, whenever I was writing blogs. And then, like, it finally happened. I'm just really bothered by the fact that he re-upped with Brooklyn. I'm really, really bothered by that, because I don't know what the fuck his problem is. I don't know why he did that. I thought it was, I don't know. I would say this to his face. I swear, Nick Claxton, if this message gets into your ears, let me tell you, I think it was so unserious that you signed that extension with Brooklyn. I'm real life mad about it. I am. This is real. Because I'm just like, they've signaled that they're not going to do anything. Like, and they're going to, internally, man, you don't know what we're saying in the bill. You know what we say in the locker room? We're competitive. They don't have shit going on. They're back in the dumpster like it's Nick, but they just restocked the cupboard from the fucking Mikal Bridges trip. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe they do something. Maybe they make some moves. Joseph Tsai is bad at his job. He's really bad at his job. He's really bad. Sean Marks, I don't know. Jury is still out. It's still out. Who knows? I don't know who's pulling strings anymore. I don't know what's going on. So, okay, Nick Claxton, I'm not necessarily that mad that you didn't come to Detroit, by the way. I wish you did, but it's okay that you didn't. But I would have loved to see you play for a team that was for real. I'm going to stop talking to him like he's listening. But Nick Claxton, you can hang up now. You can hang up and just keep listening, man. You can sit back down, but I appreciate it. So let's just move on to the next team. I guess I got no one from the Brooklyn Nets. Mamadi Diakite. Couple of years ago, I would have. Does he still have blonde hair? If he still has blonde hair, I would mortgage my future. I would mortgage my future for Mamadi Diakite. Let's move on to the Boston Celtics. So the Jays. And then I would mortgage my future for Derek White. I would mortgage my future for Kristaps Porzingis if I had already either two wings like the Jays or like adjacent, like a... Hell, I would do it if... Yeah, I would do it. Because I'm just thinking of different scenarios. Like if I was... Like the Celtics, are they like, hey, Kristaps Porzingis is a power forward who can fucking shoot over the top of everybody, would actually be really helpful right now and can like protect the rim, you know, because we have these two creators in the J. Like it worked for them. And then I was also thinking like if you were Giannis and Chris Middleton, like Brooke Lopez, like what if that was Kristaps Porzingis? You know what I'm saying? So I think there are a lot of teams around the league. The irony is you say, oh, Nick, what about like Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving? Yeah, I don't know. Whoops. So we'll say Kristaps because I think I would shell out for first round. Whoa. What the fuck, bro? Shut the hell up. Take him off this list. Let me tell you something. I don't believe that Kristaps Porzingis is going to be in the NBA in 3 years. I think his body's going to give out on him. I'm being so serious. That's why I'm like so disgusted that I let myself even say all that bullshit. Because I've been thinking about this for months. I don't think he's going to be in the league in 3 years. I'm not giving up shit for him. I just wish he was on my team. Is all that it is. So let's move on to a different team. The Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm doing it for Donovan Mitchell. Oh. Wah, wah. I would do it for Evan Mobley, but I wouldn't do it for Darius Garland. How did that one feel? I wouldn't. Yeah. Whoa. Let's just make it more disrespectful. I would do it for Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen on the Cavs in some form of the mortgaging future and doing the Mikal Bridges thing. So we're going to do Jarrett Allen. Sorry, we're going to do Evan Mobley, and we're going to do Donovan Mitchell. And that's going to bring us to nearing the end, I believe, here of the little segment here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to bring us to the end. Kind of almost done. The Indiana Pacers. Benedict Mathurin, maybe someday. Give up like 2.5 first-round picks for him. Nembhard, if they abolish the trade deadline and I could trade for dudes in the middle of May, I would trade for Andrew Nembhard. So whatever that's worth, it's like its own thing. That's cool. That's not nothing, Pacers fans. Andrew Nembhard got his own tier. All right. Miles Turner will get his number retired by the Indiana Pacers and go into some sort of a ring of honor with them. But we will not be blowing up our franchise for him on this day. Jarris Walker, if you asked me a year ago, I would have. Tyrese Halliburton, yes. Pascal Siakam, missing piece, yes. Similar to what the Pacers did, actually. I don't remember how many picks ended up being involved in that. But I feel like it was enough that we could call it not Mikal Bridges adjacent, but close enough, right? So we'll do Siakam, and we'll do Halliburton. And then we're going to move on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to move on to the Atlanta Hawks. Am I mortgaging my future for Trae Young? If I have Victor Wembanyama, I am. If I have Victor Wembanyama, I'm saying a lot of, well, or if I could just go get Chris Paul for like free and then just kick the can down the road on the Trae Young thing. He's not going anywhere, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. Let things play out. All right, okay. That's it, though. That's it. Dyson Daniels, I like. I'm not doing that much for him, though. Bruno Fernando, maybe. EJ Liddell. Shout out to EJ Liddell. Actually, reverse shout out. Anti-shout out. Because I think he's a Buckeye. Yeah, he's a Buckeye. Okay, let's move on to the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis and Dame. That's it. I wouldn't do... Because Bobby Portis is the best missing piece in the league that you can get for not that much. I don't think it would take that much to go get Bobby Portis. Bucks fans will tell you that I'm insane, but it would not take that much to go get Bobby Portis. And he is like, in terms of what he would, that's okay. All right. But yeah, we're just going to go with Giannis and we're just going to go with Dame. And then the only reason maybe I should say, why am I not doing the Chris Middleton thing? He just doesn't play anymore. Bums me out. I miss Chris Middleton. The New York Knicks. Can I be so for real? All of them. Like the main guys. All of them. Mikal, Brunson, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, OG. All of them. I'm just going to put the Knicks. We're just going to put the New York Knicks. Minus the guys I didn't name, though. Minus the ones that I don't like. So there's no Julius Randle. Champagne Campaign is not on this team. It's really too bad Tibbs is the coach and that this guy had to weasel his way onto this otherwise perfectly balanced team in terms of vibes. We're going to move on to the Orlando Magic. No, we're not. We're not. I don't want any of this. No. I want Paulo a lot. The heel turn. It's a reverse heel turn for me and Paulo Banchero. I think he might be kind of a sweetheart. But he also gives me like KG vibes with like his attitude, which like scares me a little. Like I'm very rattled every time KG speaks because he speaks with such enthusiasm. I'm like, oh my God, sorry. I saw a YouTube short today of him like talking about the first time that Paul Pierce introduced KG to fucking Cinnabon. And the testosterone that Kevin Garnett speaks with, have I said Kevin Durant? I'm sorry if I have that. Kevin Garnett speaks with, when he's talking about the first time he had this cinnamon roll at the mall, I was like scared. I kind of get the same vibes from Paulo, which is that's not a bad thing, I guess. So let's move on to the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm doing it for Embiid. I'm doing it for Maxey. I'm not doing it for Paul George. And the reason I'm not doing it for Paul George is although he did play a shit ton of games this year. He played 74 games this year. But the previous few, 56, 31, 54, 48, the last time he played 75 plus was 2018, 2019, where he had played a stretch of 4 straight years of playing at least 75 games. So, man, maybe he's trending in the right direction, but he's also 33. Not quite at that Steph Curry, Kevin Durant tier where you're 35 and we're like, yeah, you're not going to get shit anymore. We don't know what the price is for Paul George because the Clippers just let him leave. So, this could be one of those like, well, you don't have to give up that much. We don't know, though. We were like on the doorstep. We were in the red zone of getting to see what the value of Paul George was, seeing it quantified, and we were denied. So we're just going to go with Embiid, and we're just going to go with Maxey. And we're going to move on to the Washington Wizards, which now brings us to the Miami Heat. This will wrap things up. I don't want to do it with Jimmy, just because I don't want to. I think someone would trade for Tyler Hero. I think someone would do the missing piece thing with Tyler Hero. But that feels more like trade deadline. Like, my dream scenario is that Tyler Hero turns into fucking Robert Covington. And he's just a journeyman and nobody ever wants him. And you're going to be like, well, actually, it just means that he's serviceable to everybody and that he's a professional's professional and that he belongs in the league. No, it means nobody wants him. He's a horrible locker room guy. He's a coach killer, locker room cancer. He just bounces around forever, though, and he never wins a championship and never does anything meaningful. But every time teams trade for him, they're like, oh, we got Tyler Hero. We got Robert Covington. And then they don't win any games. That is the fate that I wish for Tyler Hero. I would trade my entire franchise for Bam Adebayo, though. And that's the end of the list. That's it. Whoa. Wow. We actually got through it. All right, so let's go over Jesus, so all of these are spelled wrong. Can I read all of these to you as I wrote them? Jesus, I was doing like shorthand. Dengun, Laurie, Wembanyama, De'Aaron Gaz, Packif from Portland, Devin Booker, Anthony Davis, parenthetically, but I don't wanna, SGA, Chet, parenthetically, but no, Zion, Gobert, Ant, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, parenthetically, soft launching the end of my franchise, Nikola Jokic, James Murray, Ja Morant, JJJ, soft end launch, I don't even know how to say that, but it's the J's, Derek Whites, Jay Allen, Evan Mobes, and Dominican Mitchell, Siakam, Halo Burton, Trey, Giannis, Dame, the Knicks, Paulo, Embiid, Max, Bam, Adebayo. Those are all the players in the NBA that I would blow up my franchise for. That I would do anything. Hand, tooth, and nail. I want them on my basketball team. You got any fucking problems? Take it up with the email. copinghoursubs@gmail.com. Email is spelled phonetically and will be available in the description wherever it is that you listen to this program. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the sound of a professional perfectly navigating his way through a segment that when he started it, had no idea how he was going to get to the end of it. And he had no idea how it was going to go. But I got to tell you, it went fucking medium. Did it not? Did it not? As I'm looking at the clock, I just looked over at the clock. College Football 25 has officially been out for 9 minutes. It's officially been out for 9 minutes. And guess I don't get to play it this week. I mean, I don't get to play it that much. I get to play it a little bit. But I am dying. Like, we get to play a college football game again. And the team builder looks amazing. All of it looks amazing. Dude, I've been watching everybody's live streams this week. I've been watching so much content just about this game. And I'm so excited. And that's why my girlfriend getting my PS5 fixed for my birthday was such a big deal. Because now I can finally play this. And then like in a year when GTA 6 comes out, we get to play that. And then in a decade when The Elder Scrolls 6 comes out and we all get to play that, that'll be cool. But alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it. Hey, we gotta. I guess I kind of punted on emails today just because I knew we had so much stuff to talk about. Dude, we got one. I forgot who it was from. I'm not gonna, you know how it goes on this show. I'm not gonna pull it up, but seriously, thank you to whoever sent this in because I thought it was a really fun email. They sent in like a really wild first paragraph that I'm not gonna cover at all because it was some shit that we're just not gonna talk about on the show because it was fucked up. Sorry to the person who emailed in. I loved the second part of your question though. Second part of your question, they were just like, "Hey Nick, if you could you get to do one podcast like episode with a person for like 3 hours and you get to talk about whatever you want, like who is it?" And then they also asked, and I appreciated this, they were like, musically, if you could do like a collaboration with one person, who would you choose? I'll just do the music one really quickly. Lil Yachty. Immediately. I want to do something with Lil Yachty really bad. That man is my life. The way that Yeah, the answer is Lil Yachty. And then also, but the podcasting one is almost, it's such a boring answer because it's just Bill. It's just Bill Simmons. It's just the Podfather. And then if it's not Bill, if I had to choose, here's what I'll do. I'll do one person from like all the mediums that I can think of. So I'm going to say Bill is podcasting. He's not podcasting. I mean, now he is, but you know, so we're going to say he's podcasting for radio. I could either say Russillo or I just do Francesa. It's Mike Francesa. It has to be him. If I could have a 3-hour conversation with Mike Francesa, first of all, here's what the problem would end up being is my brain is already so irony poisoned that, first of all, as a complete segue, I think that's why the Trump almost getting murdered fucked with me so much is because of how my brain already works. And so when like my brain would have thought of a scenario that actually happened in real life where Donald Trump almost gets fucking assassinated, when that actually happens in real life, it just fries your brain. It's kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same thing here. Why don't I steer this thing? What the fuck was I talking about? Why did I just do that hard left? As soon as I started to make the hard left, I was like, I should. Speaking of, reel it back in, dude. Get it back in. I'm excited to show you guys all the merch. If you're listening to this on YouTube, be sure to rate 5 star. Very abrupt ending. Sorry, I just fucking my brain totally just. I think I like overstimulated myself. I just need to. If you're listening to this on YouTube, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, nice little comment for the algorithm. If you're over on Spotify, I guess comments are live. They're not. The functionality isn't in my app. I don't know if it is for you guys, but it is in the interface that I use to upload the show on Spotify, but it's not. But all right, if you are listening to this on Spotify, be sure to rate 5 stars. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you guys have been enjoying the show lately. I've felt a little bit weird about it. this isn't me, trying to look for you guys. Really not trying to fish for anything here. I'm just... Okay, I will catch you guys in the next one.
Beautiful.